Well, hello there. How are you today? So, I am going to offer this blessing and this gift and this expression. And as a gift, it's a gift for me and you and we. So, I want to do it with transparency, authenticity, vulnerability, and impeccability for the integrity of the whole, for the integrity of my whole self, for the integrity of all. And I just want to say that, this hasn't been easy, like getting on here and bearing my soul, sharing my experiences, sharing myself. But I was willing to, show up and just be myself, because that's what I was asked to do, to choose for myself, to choose for the love that I have for myself and for my Mother Earth and for humanity, for the whole, for the collective, and for my individual whole self. So as I've been learning and I've been growing, kicking, screaming, fighting, and resisting, but I've been willing, to show up and learn and grow. So as I've been learning and discovering, I've been teaching and sharing and honoring, all of this that I've been receiving for my soul, for my well-being, for my true whole soul, for my wealth, for my worthiness, for my currency, to honor that whole, to honor the value of that whole, to honor and appreciate and increase the value of that whole, to honor and become whole, to heal, to become whole, to know that I'm already whole, to know my own soul, to come back home and honor my soul, to listen to my soul's inner call and answer that call, be true to who I really am. And that's not easy sometimes, especially living in this world or being a part of this world, So it's a journey. It's a journey home to ourselves. And it is an adventure. It's the adventure of life. And it is the gift, of knowing ourselves and living our lives. Knowing ourselves through living our life. And loving our life and loving ourselves. Showing up for ourselves, showing up for life, showing up through life, showing up through ourselves, through all the different parts that we play. For each other and ourselves. So what I wanted to say today was, hey, happy birthday, Erica. I hope, this day finds you celebrating the truth of your life and the wholeness of your life and honoring the life you've been given to be, to live, and to share, and to dream, to co-create, and to receive for yourself, to value and appreciate, to show up for, and to experience through, to grow through, and to play through, so you can come back home to you. And so, I have wanted to express some things, but I wasn't exactly sure when the right time would be, or if it was going to serve you and me and we. And so I did have clear guidance and clear messages come in last summertime, and throughout the fall, and throughout the winter, and throughout this year. I'm always receiving guidance, and I'm doing my best to listen to that guidance and follow that guidance and follow my heart in service to the whole, in service to the integrity of the whole, in service to all. And so there are a couple of things that I feel like you have not been able to see, or you've been unwilling to see, or unable to see. And I know that it is hard, and we have our own stories, and we have our own ways of looking at things, or seeing things, perceiving things, experiencing things. And this is just my perception and what I've experienced and what I've witnessed and what I've been given. So I'd like to offer and share it. And I'm willing to let go of my agendas and my expectations, because I would like there to be a mutual understanding and acceptance. And, but I'm going to let those go, because I can't presume to know what you see, what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and what you perceive about our situation and about the changes that have happened and are happening in and through our personal relationship and our collective relationships and our relationships with ourselves. And so there is a theme surrounding, the collective wound and our individual wounds, our personal lenses and our collective lenses that we use, that we've been trained to use, around abandonment, rejection, betrayal. And so those themes are coming up really strong. So like I said, last year, if you're feeling abandoned, it is an invitation to return to yourself and ask to be shown where you've abandoned yourself. And so that, is the key, because that's what we really need, is to see where we can show up for ourselves, where we haven't been able to show up for ourselves, where we've been taught to reject ourselves, or we have believed we needed to hide ourselves or not own our power, our potential, our gifts, and our limitations. So this is without judgment. This is just what it is. It is what it is, what it is, what it is. And I know it's not the end all be all, whole picture of absolute truth, but it is the truth as I see it. The truth as I see it for me. So I just want to offer that, and with love. And I know it may not be what you're expecting or what's pleasing or what's comfortable or what's needed, what your ego thinks you need. But I do want to offer it anyways, and it's free to be received. It's up to you. Take it or leave it. Maybe sit with it, maybe let it percolate, or outright reject it. It's up to you. But I want to share from the heart, and I want to express my truth and remind you of messages and communications that I sent last year, because I wanted to be really clear, but I really don't feel like you were open to receive it, or there was some part of you that wouldn't allow yourself to receive it in the ways that it was given. And what it was too, the choice that I made, it was out of love, and it was out of true generosity. So we had a dynamic playing out in our relationship that wasn't working anymore. And we had both outgrown it, and it's time to change. And I know that we don't like change. We like to stay familiar and secure and safe in the comfort zones that we know. And the relationships, the old static dynamics that we're comfortable or we know, we're familiar with. It's an old strategy of ego control. So I don't expect you to understand certain things or interpret them as I see them, but I'll just offer them to the best of my abilities through my own authentic expression. And there are several things that I would like to remind you of. Letting go with love. This relationship isn't working anymore for either of us. And I know there was good things about it, and I know we got to share a lot, and we got to learn, and we got to grow a lot together. But now it's time for us to take our journeys in our own ways. And that means separating. A separation is needed to come back into alignment with ourselves, to clear all the external noise and release all the old baggage, the old patterns and the old ways of doing things and the old ways of seeing ourselves and each other, the old ways of believing and relating and operating, cooperating and co-creating in the world. And so I did get very clear guidance last year that I needed to honor myself and really look at where I was abandoning myself and where I wasn't showing up for myself, where I was blocking myself where I was sabotaging myself, where I was disallowing myself, where I was going against myself. Yeah, where I wasn't respecting myself, where I was minimizing and devaluing myself, where I wasn't acknowledging myself, my needs, and my energy, and where I wasn't being responsible for the way that I was directing it and how I was choosing to express it. And of course, I have had good intentions, always. But there were certain things that I wasn't able to see either. Until, a certain amount of suffering. And then I was just like, okay, I think I've suffered enough here. And I really need to pay attention to what these feelings are telling me. So last year in the summertime, and even before the summertime, there were certain things that were coming up to bother me and irritate me and trigger me. So rather than blame or project it onto someone else, I went deep within myself to see what love was asking me. And so there is certain changes that needed to happen in certain relationships, and the core relationship that I have with myself. So I just want to say, it's nothing that you did or you didn't do. It's nothing that I did or I didn't do. It's not that we weren't enough, and it's not that we were too much. It's just, it is what it is right now, and it's time to release, surrender, and allow the changes to take place. Allow that relationship death to occur so that new life can be born and come in through our lives where the space has been made, to receive that new life. I reminded you that that we're on a part of our journey now that, where you're meant to receive now from your true self and from others in your life. And yes, we get to be each other's teachers, and we all get to be the teacher and the student simultaneously, together and apart. And so, there are certain roles that we've played for each other, and there are certain lessons and challenges that we've been able to share and offer and, receive together. So I am grateful for those things, and I am grateful for the love that we have shared and the love that we have been able to give, receive, and honor. So with that being said, this is a new way of being, and it's a new way of showing up. So I'm choosing to show up for myself in different ways and show up for all that I love. But right now, there's certain relationships that cannot be sustained as they are any longer, as they were. And so I did write a lot in my journal that I may just end up reading and sharing so that certain messages can be offered and are free to be received. So, yes, I may have played a teacher for you, and you have played a teacher for me. So life is the great teacher, and we can learn from everyone and everything. There's something to learn about everyone and everything, and they can all be our teachers. So I just want to remind you as well that I never did agree, to stay indefinitely in a codependent relationship. And so we never had an arrangement. We never had that life contract, written verbal contract, to stay in a stagnant relationship. And there's no blame here. There's no blame. This is just the opportunity that is happening for us to help move us toward where we get to go from here, and where we get to be, and where we get to choose, to receive the gifts that are here, right here, and happening and unfolding for, in, and through us. And so I just want to remind you that I didn't abandon you. I told you clearly in the fall that I wouldn't be able to show up in the ways that I had been. That things were going to change and I needed to step back because I was being guided to let go. So some of the messages I was receiving was, if you love her, let her go. And you've learned all you can from this relationship right now, and you won't be creating anything new or true if you continue. And it'll be a great waste of resources and energy, and it will cause and perpetuate more pain and suffering because it was dishonoring me and what I really knew that I needed for me. And it would be dishonoring for you, and of you, to keep showing up in those old ways that reinforced the poverty stories and the victim judge mentality, the lack stories of not enough and too much. So I'm going to take a breath for a minute and see if there's anything else that wants to be expressed. Something just came in. I wanted to say, I've never stopped loving you or caring about you. I just needed to change the ways I was showing up and expressing my care for you. And so this time, how I'm expressing my care for you and for me and for we and for the whole of humanity, for all beings, is to listen to my guidance and follow my soul. And my soul is saying, it's time to go. It's time to let go. So I was willing to do that, even though I knew it wouldn't be pleasing and it wouldn't be comfortable and it wouldn't be easy, because it's not been easy for me. And I wanted to remind you, that we all have suffered and we all can relate when it comes to, that suffering and that pain and that dis-ease. But there's certain ways that we choose to experience it, and there's no wrong way to experience ourselves and to experience our life and to experience our growth and change. And so there's no one right way. There's nothing wrong, with feeling all we need to feel and telling ourselves stories, and all those things. So it's okay to have your perspective and it's okay to have your experience, but know that there's always another side, always multiple sides to every single story. And sometimes we hide truth in the lies and we hide lies in what we think is true. And so it is kind of funny to look beneath the disguise and the lies sometimes that we don't know we're telling ourselves. And so I think I will share a little bit about some things that I wrote so that I can, offer this closure, offer my thoughts, let you know where you stand with me, because I feel like that's been something that you wanted to know, and I've tried to express it to you and communicate to you clearly, but for some reason or other, I don't know if you were able to receive it or take it in. And so, there were several things that I offered last year to tell you, that it wasn't something you didn't do or that you did do. It wasn't about you. It wasn't personal. It was something that I needed to choose for me and for you, for we, for me and we, to honor that relationship and honor my full being, honor the whole, and honor the life that's been given to me, so I can show up and I can continue my own journey and show up for the collective how I'm really meant to be, and show up for me so I can experience and heal and choose what I'm here to be, receive, create, offer, give, and be. So, yeah, what I did want to say, what wants to be said about this? What wants to be said about this for the highest good of all? Wants to be said and expressed and shared, offered, and received. So, yeah, what are you open to receiving? Are you open to hearing my truth? Are you open to seeing and hearing me? So you've asked who I am in my videos, or who are you in your videos? And so what I want to say is, I haven't been anything but me. And so I don't know what version of you have attached yourself to, but if you can't see that this is me, I don't know what image you hold of me. I don't know who you think I'm supposed to be or who you expect me to be. Although we have shared a lot and I've played some roles for you, like that's not like who I really am. I've showed up for you and I've worn different masks for you and I've played different roles for you and maybe projected different identities and maybe agreed to carry or hold different things for you. But I can no longer continue to do that. I can't continue to do that for me or for you. And so, yeah, I've been authentically sharing and showing up and being myself. I feel the fear and I do it anyway. It's really, really scary sometimes to show up and be naked and vulnerable. You know, showing up just as I am, here as I am, without like the masks. This is who I am. Like, this is who I am right now. I don't know who you think that I am or who I've been, but this is who I am. This is me. And so, like, if it's someone foreign to you or alien, it's foreign and alien to me. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And you can take it or leave it. Yeah, whatever you choose. So I'm letting go and accepting and allowing me and we to be just as we are and as we will be. I'm trusting, allowing, and I'm remembering that love is free to be, always. Invitations, appreciation, invocations, praises, blessings, 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 joyful songs and clarity, abundance, pleasure, joy, creativity, willingness, receptivity, allowing, generosity, forgiving, and sharing all this love. That's prosperity. That's our true wealth and currency. So let go of how I think it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to look, feel, or be received, or perceived, and seen. So we all want to be acknowledged, recognized, appreciated, seen, valued, seen as worthy of belonging and love and inclusivity. So where can we choose to show up for ourselves and offer that to ourselves and receive that for ourselves, give ourselves permission to be that for ourselves? All those things that we need. How can we open to receive those and be those and share those and offer those, all those gifts to ourselves and to others as well, for true well-being and healing and fullness and revealing all that we are, all we can choose, all we can free, all we can receive, all we can honor, all we can be. So something that I wrote on I guess it was yesterday. So I reminded myself to let go again and again yesterday, to allow the mystery and the magic to unfold without that oppositional resistance or that false sense of control. I'm doing my best to be guided and get out of my own way, or allow it to be all it is and gets to be. I'm remembering all this is happening for me, and we are not powerless victims. We are not poverty-stricken. We are not separate. We are not alone. We are not powerless. We are not helpless. We are not shackled. We are not slaves. We are not worthless. We are not without purpose. We are not chained. We are free. We are free. We always have a choice, our power and accountability. So claim your fullness and your full responsibility. I can no longer play old roles for you or for me. I can no longer continue what is false for me. I just get to allow myself to feel my feelings without judging them as wrong or wrong for me to feel and wrong for me to receive. So be honest with myself and discern what is heard and received, what is being heard and what is being received. Allow, surrender, suspend, and listen. I am willing, so it is, so be willing. Yeah, I am willing to see all I need to see for my full, true well-being. So I picked up a card the other day because I was going to actually record a video for you yesterday, but actually it wasn't the right time. But I did pick a card, and what I got from medicine cards was moose medicine, but moose was in the reverse. So I want to share that with you, and yeah, we'll see what comes through with that. But moose is about self-esteem. Now I'm going to read the whole card for you, and then we'll start with the regular meaning and then the contrary meaning, which it was pulled in the reverse contrary position. So moose is number 11, self-esteem. And the 11 is interesting too, the 2, because it is the doorway and it is the 2 poles, yeah, of that dual nature of the 1. And so it is a challenge as well, and an opportunity, yeah. And a doorway to step through, like to a new life and a new beginning, yeah, from that ending. So, moose, help me to honor the gifts I can give and recognize my worthiness long as I live. Moose, self-esteem. Moose is found in the north of the medicine wheel, as is buffalo. North represents the place of wisdom. Self-esteem is the medicine of moose because it represents the power of recognizing that wisdom has been used in a situation and that recognition or a pat on the back is deserved. Moose is the largest member of the deer family and has great strength. The call of the male moose is an awesome thing to hear on a musky spring night. His pride in his maleness and his desire to share his seed with a moose cow are displays of his sense of self-esteem. The bellow of a male moose can be viewed as a positive force since it represents his willingness to tell the world about his feelings. This tell the world trait contains a joyfulness which only comes with a sense of accomplishment. There is no greater joy than a job well done. This trait is therefore not a seeking of approval, but rather an enjoyment of sharing because of the spontaneous explosion of joy that comes from the deepest part of one's being. So this tell the world trait contains a joyfulness which only comes with a sense of accomplishment. There is no greater joy than a job well done. This trait is therefore not a seeking of approval, but rather an enjoyment of sharing because of the spontaneous explosion of joy that comes from the deepest part of one's being. The wisdom woven throughout this scenario is that creation constantly brings forth new ideas and further creation. Moose is telling us that joy should be shouted with pride. The wisdom in doing this shouting is that the joy is catching. In a sense, the bellowing is a way for all of us to lighten up and give ourselves or each other a well done. So really, that's encouragement and acknowledgement. And it's like, not needing that validation or approval, but we can be each other's, support and like cheerleaders and encouraging like each other to keep growing and to keep going and to keep dreaming and to even keep failing, keep making mistakes so that we keep growing and keep experiencing and keep changing, and embracing that change and the potential that we have. So there is no such thing as a work-free transformation. And sometimes, we're still spending the same amount of energy to avoid our work that we would actually be using to confront and to show up for our work. Our work that we have for ourselves, like the challenges that we wanted to come in and experience so that we could know and grow and love ourselves. So something to consider there. And I know my words are for me too. And so, it is a gift for me and an offering for we. So the wisdom woven throughout this scenario is that creation constantly brings forth new ideas and further creation. Moose is telling us that joy should be shouted with pride. The wisdom in doing this shouting is that joy is catching. In a sense, the bellowing is a way for all of us to lighten up and give ourselves or each other a well done. Moose medicine people have the ability to know when to use the gentleness of deer and when to activate the stampede of buffalo. They understand the balance between giving orders to get things done and having a willingness to do things themselves. The wisdom of moose medicine is akin to the grandfather warrior who has long since put away his war paint and is now advising the young bucks to cool their blood. Moose medicine is often found in elders who have walked the good red road and have seen many things in their earth walk. Their joy lies in being the teachers of the children and in being the first ones to give encouragement. This is not to say that moose medicine people do not use their wisdom to warn as well as to give praise, because they do. Moose medicine people know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. The elders are honored in tribal law for their gifts of wisdom, for their teaching abilities, and for the calmness they impart in counsel. If you are wise beyond your years and have the gift of moose medicine, use this gift to encourage others to learn and grow. There are many facets to the wisdom of moose medicine. If you have chosen the moose card, you have reason to feel good about something you have accomplished on your journey. This may be a habit you have broken, a completion of some sort, an insight on a goal, or a new sense of self that you have fought hard to earn. It is a time of feeling harmonious pride and of recognizing those who aided you in the process. One good exercise in moose medicine is to write down things that you can love about yourself and your progress in life. Then apply these same things to friends, family, coworkers, and life. Don't forget to share the findings with others. They need the encouragement as much as you do. Contrary position. If moose is upside down when you draw it, you are being reminded that ego can ruin your sense of accomplishment. Remember that others have the same potential you have, and do not become careless in your appreciation of their gifts. Reversed moose implies that in tooting your own horn you have failed to be interested in others, and have therefore forgotten that everyone teaches everyone else in some way. Contrary moose medicine may be asking you to grow quietly for a while, to calm your spirit and allow the strength and wisdom of silence to enter your heart. This is the core of moose medicine, knowing the wisdom of silence so that when it is proper to speak, you can take pride in your words. So wow, I really super appreciated that. That is like exactly what I needed. So I hope that it serves you as well. Thank you, moose medicine. Generosity and encouragement and pride and joy in a job well done, and that feeling of joy and accomplishment for a job well done, and I think there's a lot to look at there, a lot to look into right there. And so I'm willing to look deeper into all those things in moose medicine. Thank you. So I had drawn the moose card upside down, and I went to go open my book to read number 11, but flipped it right open to skunk, and skunk is self-respect. And so that was another good, and it's reputation as well. So self-esteem and self-respect, and that's what I've been working on, and self-confidence and showing up, being humble, feeling proud of my accomplishments, but feeling humble because of my humble beginnings, and knowing that everyone just is where they're at, and that they all have the same potential and the same power and the same gift of being, but all unique in their own ways and their own style. Because everyone holds gifts for the collective, everyone has gifts to give, everyone carries different gifts to share and to give. And if we're blocking ourselves from receiving, we're blocking ourselves from giving as well. And so that's kind of certain things that I needed to learn and I needed to see, because there was an imbalance, excesses and deficiency in how I was giving and receiving. And I'm still in the middle of those lessons as well. But I have come through a lot of layers of them. So it's just a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. We never stop growing. If we did stop growing, there wouldn't be any possibility for life, because it would be frozen and static and stagnant and frozen in time. And there's no room for life there. And so that's why it's good to let go of our attachments and our agendas and what we think we know and what we think we believe. What we think we're seeing, what we think we're playing at being, who we think we are, all those things. So I know it can get confusing, and there's a lot of mind traps, and there's a lot of interference and old strategies that keep us on the hamster wheel and the wheel of suffering. And I know it's not easy, but it's like exactly what we need, like so that we can come back home to ourselves and claim our power and our potential and our possibilities, like all of this infinite grace and prosperity that's always available. But it's like sometimes we need certain conditions to come into our lives or to happen so that we can actually move towards them. Like if we're too comfortable in our comfort zone and we're resisting change, sometimes like the universe will give us a little nudge or a little push or a little scrape on the knee, and to get us to get ourselves moving. And sometimes we resist and we kick and scream, but like we're just causing ourselves more suffering by resisting what we really need, So I just wanted to offer that for better or for worse. So there are certain stories and certain roles that I can no longer play in and play at. So it's not because I don't want to or really, but like some of me like found enjoyment and pleasure and giving and all of that and caregiving and showing up to, to inspire and to help and to bless and to serve. And that is a great blessing. And I do appreciate like all the gifts we've gotten to share and all the gifts that you offered and all the gifts that you are. But it's just time for a different dynamic and a different relationship. And it is time for that gift of absence and that gift of separation and individuation and differentiation. It is, a gift of making that room and making that space for something new to be born through, like that old waste. So we can't cling to, some of these things anymore. If we love them and we love life, we need to release it instead of trying to possess it and cling to it and keep it the same or control it, manage it, or manipulate it. And there has been certain patterns that I've seen through, and I don't know if you're aware of them at all, or if maybe some of you, some parts of yourself and your psyche are aware. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't presume to know. But I am aware of them and I can see them, and like they just don't work for me anymore. And I would like to express or share a little bit of care around some of those things and dynamics and kind of manipulative strategies, ego survival strategies, and unconscious patterns. Old ways of operating and relating and getting our needs met. And I don't I'm not calling you wrong for playing into that or repeating that or perpetuating that. I just want to express the truth as it is, and what I've seen and what I've been aware of and what's not working for me, and what repels me and what attracts me and what I get to choose for me, and what I'm responsible for and what I'm accountable for, and how I'm going to choose to be. So, be honest with myself and discern what is heard and received. Allow, surrender, suspend. I am willing to see all I need to see for my full, true, whole well-being. So moose, self-esteem, and skunk, self-respect. Interesting messages for me and we. And I had a great reading with a friend yesterday. And I've been doing my own readings, very consistently, not overdoing it. And not relying on the cards to tell me, but using all my resources, and asking for clarity, and then surrendering, it's okay for me not to know, and I'm just opening and inviting the clarity to come in and making the space for it to be received. And so last year, yes, I'll let you know before, I think, what happened last year, yes. And I know it's all a blur, and I know it's not very clear yet. And sometimes it takes a little while for it to come into focus, for the clarity to come to focus. And that's the gift of hindsight too. The hindsight. Like sometimes we just don't even know until we're through the experience. Then we can look back, reflect on it, and see, oh, I can put the puzzle pieces together. Oh, that's kind of like, aha, that's the story of what happened there. Yeah, like hopefully like it becomes clear when what gets to be clear, and when the distortions are cleared. So some of those old beliefs have to be cleared out, and some of those old roles and those old stories and those old masks and those old identities that we've learned to wear. Some of those need to be shed in order to really see more fully and clearly. And sometimes if we're stuck like in our victim and abandonment stories, then, like we're always like looking on the outside of us and then wondering what we did wrong, or making the other person that left us wrong. Or, like because it feels so wrong. And we feel so wrong sometimes, so we have to make ourselves or the other wrong. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not taking that like strategy anymore. I'm choosing like true, full soul strategies that do include the whole. Like that honor my feelings and that see things as they are, not as I want them to be. Like, and that is a work in progress, definitely. So, I had a great reading. The cards that I got to draw, were Time to Go, Never Ending Story, and Milk and Honey. Good insights and advice, guidance, support, love, and true encouragement, loving kindness to help me proceed, to believe in myself and be true to me, showing up for me and we in integrity. I know what I get to choose, and I'm choosing it for me. So thank you, love and wisdom, generosity, life, and all your riches, all our riches, all our gifts, all our ways of being. Let me gently remind you of what I expressed to you. So I'm just wondering, did you consider, like in December, that when you reached out, yes, you were upset and you felt abandoned, but did you consider that like you were blaming someone else outside of you for what you've created, or what you helped to create, or what you chose to create and perpetuate? And so, the texts that you sent me was a perfect example of shadow dumping. When, you were trying to trigger me and confront me and bait me into like coming into conflict or into the arena, into the boxing ring to confront some things, because that's part of the boss's archetypal strategies, like because they want to know where they stand, and it's their way of controlling things, or it's their way of finding security, of knowing where they stand, and so like that's what I perceive. That's how I perceived it to be, and that's why I chose not to take it personally, but I wouldn't respond to those things that were not true for me. And so like there was like a lot of hostility and a lot of untrue things said and dumped, but like I chose not to agree to those things, because it was emotional garbage, and it was toxicity, and it was dysfunctional, and it was gaslighting, and it was dishonoring of like my decision and my choice that I needed to make for me, and the love that I was offering you and me, because this helps to free you and me from our old patterns of slavery, from this codependent narcissistic dynamic that we've been playing and repeating generationally. Like it's been generational patterns. So we've been playing at being wound mates, and I'm not playing that game anymore. And I don't need to make you wrong or myself wrong. I just can see it for what it is. And we both played into it, and we both participated, and we both created this mess. But now I'm choosing to let it go, and I'll be accountable for my mess, And so I'm asking you to be responsible. I asked you questions about who is responsible for you and all those things. And I thought, maybe you might take a look at those questions and you might understand where I was coming from. But that's okay. I was willing to let go of that agenda, because it's not up to me to make you see or receive or understand. That's not up to me. It's up to you. So, did you consider the questions and the messages that I offered about my necessary absence from your life, the necessary split and separation, the ending of old ways of cooperating and relating, playing in and at these dysfunctional, unconscious, toxic roles and stories, the dynamics that we're playing in? Yeah, reinforcing those false identities, attachments, beliefs, programs, strategies, fears, addictions, false security, survival, play acting, strategies, manipulation, deceit, self-deceit, comfort zone, poverty consciousness, ego's false control, distortions of reality. I needed to choose this for me, and it was out of love for me and we, and it was the truth, and it needed to be the end of this one-way street that was no longer working for me or honoring me or we. Me, you, or me. So I had to discontinue it. I couldn't keep it going. It was blocking intimacy. It was blocking the intimacy in my life that I needed for me. So it was blocking intimacy and prosperity for us both and our future generations. That came in really clear. And so it was like, okay, well, I don't really want to hurt any feelings. I don't want to feel like I'm abandoning anyone. I don't want to feel like I'm hurting someone or I'm abandoning someone or losing someone or pushing someone away. But I know that I need to choose this for me. And so that's why I offered loving kindness and as clear and as truthful communications as I could. But it was still not received in any way that I could perceive. And so, that was a little disappointing, but I was willing to just let it go and surrender it anyway, surrender the outcome, because I knew I wasn't responsible, for what is not mine. And so I just asked for the good of all, to be served. So I told you that you needed to take this part of your journey without me, and you were meant to receive from yourself and others. I let you know that this was me breaking old patterns and growing into who I am and who I need to be for me. Showing up for me in new ways, new true and full ways. That really do serve me and honor my ways of being. It wasn't personal and it wasn't about you, but it was so always about you. And there was no room for me in our relationship. I participated in that, and I take full accountability. I don't believe that you see me. I don't believe that you have seen me. You only see what you allow yourself to see about me and we. That's how I feel, and that's what I perceive. And I'm not sharing this to argue or to debate or to get into any kind of dialogue of who's right and who's wrong. This is my story, and this is my offering. So I have been teaching as I've been speaking, as I've been sharing and getting on these videos. I've been teaching as I've been learning, and I've been learning as I've been teaching, and I've been growing as I've been learning, and learning as I've been growing. So I've been showing up, and I've been learning, sharing, going, growing, healing, living, changing, expanding, discovering, reminding, and remembering. I haven't felt encouraged or supported or acknowledged or seen or heard by you in any authentic way. I've been myself in my videos and authentically vulnerable and brave. I've been scared off my ass but willing to do it anyway. I really don't know what kind of image that you have of me or hold of me in your mind. But and I don't know who you believe that I'm supposed to be for you or for me. But I'm not obligated to continue to give or to share anything with you or continue an obligatory relationship with you just because we have lots of history. And we did have lessons and gifts to share with each other that I'm grateful for. But I no longer am your covert narcissistic supply for support or the surrogate parent or life wife support. I can no longer provide that life support or that life wife support. So, I just want to say, I don't know if you really either, really miss me, or if it's the way that I helped you feel about yourself, or that you felt like when I sent gifts and which offer my caregiving. And this is like maybe you miss what I could offer and give to you, and maybe you miss the way that I felt or how I expressed my care for you. This is also expressing care for you, letting you go now so that you can go back home to you and be the love you need for you and continue on your journey. And this is love for me and you because it allows me my fullness too. And I'm done with the codependent, narcissistic stories that reinforce poverty consciousness and giving our power away, not honoring the gifts that we have to give and to express and to cultivate and to grow and nurture and nourish through our being. Reinforcing trauma, pain, disease, and suffering, victim-judge programming, horror, wounded child, saboteur roles, and the disempowering patterns and old strategies. It's time for something new and something true. So a death of some kind must be allowed to occur. A death of the ego and a rebirth of the spirit child, the bridge between the ego and the soul. For spirit to play, create and be, regenerating wealth, abundance, prosperity, our currency through true fullness and responsibility, claiming our power, love, choice, fully, our folly and accountability, our worth, our value, our sovereignty, our true freedom to be, to choose, to receive, to let go and release, to allow the new life to enter in and be born through the space of grace that death so generously offers through renewal and true regeneration. So embrace the death of the old and the clearing and cleansing of the old learned ways of doing things or showing up and operating in the world. Be honest with yourself and ask to see and be shown where you are in your own way and negotiating your power, worth, value, and currency away. The love that you have and carry for you and the love that you're here to share and be and shine for you. So all the old beliefs, programs, fears, images, false images, expectations, stories, attachments of what life is, let's change. The only way we can change any of that is by changing our own minds and changing the ways that we see things. So when we change the things, we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So let's change, our minds. And let's look at what we've been taught to believe what life is and who we are and what it's supposed to be and who we're supposed to be. Those are big blockages and old core beliefs that we can change and to empower ourselves and to own our own power and accountability. So I was and I am receiving clear guidance about my choices to discontinue these old patterns and unconscious roles with you and with others and with myself. And, I did see some ego stuff come up. And, I'm not saying that as a judgment thing. It's just, one of those things that, we need to become aware of and we get to become aware of and we get to discern. The ego can be our ally, but the ego can be, our prison guard. So it's just, certain ways that, we get to develop our sense of self and project who we are or who we think we are sometimes. So the ego is really who we think we are, but the soul is who we really are, And so we need both. We need the ego to operate in this world. And the ego is the gatekeeper of consciousness. And that helps us to live in this 3D density and this reality. And to be a separate, indivisible whole within the larger collective whole. I don't know if that makes sense, but there it is. So it seems your lower ego took over and wanted to defend itself and its survival, that self-preservation and false control. So there was certain victim, wounded child, and abandonment roles being played out. And there was blaming and shaming and scapegoating and avoiding taking your own accountability for your own choices and your own actions. For your bullshit stories, power, and responsibility. And I just want you to know you are capable and you are free to choose. You're free to choose to act and change your mind. You are free to change your life, You are free to be. You are free to decide. You are free to see. You are free to deny. You are free to confront, and you are free to avoid. You are free to reject, and you're free to lie. You're free to open to the truth, and you're free to hide. Hiding from yourself, your own light. Yeah. Are you denying your own birthright and abandoning yourself, your power, and your own life through the victim narcissist ghost archetype, the addict, the whore, and the wounded child, the orphan, outcast, beggar, the lower class, the unworthy, the not enough poverty stories, old beliefs, fears, doubts, worries, the old patterns, the old monsters we know and we keep feeding. Stories that we keep repeating, believing, and perpetuating, recycling through on the wheel of suffering. Poor me, give me what I need, please. Carry my power, potential, projections, expectations, needs, responsibility, and guilt for me. Carry my bullshit or reinforce my apathy, poverty story of I can't, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. I'm not enough, there's not enough, I can't change my mind stories. I'm not enough, I don't measure up, there's not enough for me. All stories. Something or someone else, my circumstances, myself is to blame. No, change your own mind and the way you receive, perceive, speak, think, and believe. Making room, making space for God to play, for God's grace to flow through me and we. Making space for the universe and meeting halfway. Love always, love always, love always. Cooperation, change, free wealth and currency, appreciation, offering, regeneration, energy, perpetual motion. Emotion, energy in motion. Honoring our feelings, receiving those messages, and the wisdom that we can receive from witnessing and observing and allowing all our feelings. So thanks for the lessons. Be well. Farewell. Fare thee well. Well wishes for a full whole journey back to your own well, to your true whole full well-being. So draw from within and choose to be well. Choose the love you need for your whole self. Be the love you need for yourself. Honor the love you be for yourself. Honor the love you are for yourself. Love your whole self and be well for yourself. Find your own well and regenerate yourself. Give and receive all your love for yourself. Be all the love that you need for yourself. See all the love you receive for yourself. Open to all you can be for yourself. Be true to the love that you hold for yourself. Be true to the love that you are for yourself. Be clear and be true. Be love for yourself. Be love and be true. Be love. Love your whole self. Be love your whole self. Change the way you've learned to see yourself. Change your own mind and you'll see your whole self. You'll see your true self. Don't rely on the outside for what already exists within. It's your choice to own your power, to shine your light or dim. Once you've experienced enough depletion, maybe you'll finally find the courage and the strength to go within and find that love that's been there all along. It's been you, all along. So find that love deep within. You've been searching for all along, hidden deep within, running away and avoiding the pain, only to recreate it, all the suffering, again and again. We can't run from ourselves, our choices, or our power. What we sow, we shall reap. So be willing to show up for yourself and attend to your whole soul garden, your love, your life, your choice, your wealth, your currency, your resources, your creativity, your power, worth, prosperity, your value, and your integrity, your fullness, your accountability, your truth, your mission, your purpose, your place, your faith, your compassion, your grace, mercy and empathy. Claim it all. It's all yours to be. So it is all ours. And we can choose it, and we can allow it, and we can receive it. If we can free it and allow love to be free. Love is free, so be free. So be free to be received. So let love be free, let love be freed. Be open to receive freely. And so, yeah, that's just kind of, like nothing I haven't said before. Nothing I haven't shared before. And I'm going to pause this for a second. And it's magic. So I wanted to share a little bit more and also confront our last interaction, which was on YouTube, in the comments section of some of my videos. I don't mind at all any comments or feedback from my alchemy practices and things that relate and all of that. But there was some things that I noticed, and it felt kind of crappy to me, and I knew there were certain agendas and motivations behind the messages and things that weren't being said as well as were being said. And so I just want to confront that and say that although I know that you have your own story around our relationship and what you believe it was, I don't believe that you're seeing it for what it really was, and that you're embellishing certain parts of it and neglecting or ignoring other parts of it. And that's okay, because we have our own filters and we all have our own blind spots and limitations, But we all do have our own insights as well, and our own inner sight, to see more into those things. And so I just want to say though, that was interesting that you said that you felt like you were in summer school and your teacher didn't come back because she didn't want to teach you anymore. And that is just kind of how sometimes, and a good example of how we can indulge in self-pity and tell ourselves these stories, because it reinforces certain poor me, no one is here for me kind of things. And that wasn't the case. And I hope the real knows that that's not totally true, and what actually happened and what actually is. And so I won't agree to that. I don't agree to that abandonment story, but you're welcome for that too. I've had to learn myself by other people's absences. And I really did learn a lot and benefit a lot from that presence and that absence, even though it was painful. And so I got to see where I had been absent in my own life, and where I wasn't showing up in my relationships, and where I wasn't showing up for myself. And so there are certain things that I'm not going to agree to, or I'm not even going to respond to, and especially if they're not true for me. And especially if they have agendas attached, and there's ego manipulation at play. And there is. And so I don't know what you're aware of, but I am aware of certain things, and I can see through certain self-deceit, and I can see through unconscious deceit as well, because I have refined my bullshit detector, and I know myself. So when I feel feelings that come up to the surface that kind of feel it's a badger energy, I know there's something there for me to see, and so just wanted to share that. But there was some subtle undermining going on, and assumptions and some judgments being made, and some blaming and some baiting and some flattery and self-pity kind of fishing and sympathy fishing. So I would ask you to please become aware of old toxic patterns and survival strategies, those ego strategies of false control, the unconscious conditioning, generational programming, manipulation, and exploitation, the ego games, gaslighting, indoctrination, and our own personal and collective mythologies. So, please don't pretend that everything's all right and we can just pick off where we left off, because it's not going to happen, and that chapter's done. It's ended. We're not going back to the way things were. Even if we wanted to, it would be impossible, because there's only now and there's only moving forward. If we're trying to live in the past or recreate the past, that's dishonoring of what could be born through the new life that is waiting and available and being offered. And so the lessons and the challenges are happening for us. So it's to help us claim our own power and direct it with integrity, and to create what's more in true alignment and harmony with who we really are. And it's like with all we want to be included, acknowledged, loved, recognized, and valued, like we're given that opportunity. Yeah, that's how we turn it around. And so when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. We got to teach each other and share many, many things, and I'm grateful I had much to share with you. I'm grateful that you've helped me learn about boundaries and letting go, how to let go with love, to help me serve me and we. So yeah, I needed kind of some help with that and certain boundaries. So I am grateful for those lessons and those teachings. And so please become accountable and look into your behavior, your choices, your actions, and the ways that, you've learned to reinforce like your own sense of control. And yeah, maybe look at where you haven't been able to show up for yourself, or be honest with yourself. So change the way you look at things, change the way you see them, change the way you see things, change the way you perceive them, change the way you see yourself, change the way you choose to be them, change the way you broadcast your frequency, and change your whole reality. Change your own mind and the world changes with you. Open your mind and the world opens to you. Change what you believe and change the way you see. Change your whole life. Change through your own being. In the world, but not of it. Sometimes we need to be so worn down and exhausted, depleted, run down, raw, open, broken open to receive and surrender to what love is asking, to yield and open to life, to die to the life we've had so that we can be reborn into the life that's waiting, the new life coming into being manifested through our dreaming, awakening being. So be sovereign. Stand in my truth, love and power, shine my light, own and honor my power, trust myself and draw on inner strength, stand up for myself and be honest. Gentle strength. Be patient, allowing, accepting, and compassionate. I am willing, encouraging my true fullness, my true inner strength, my wholeness I choose for me and we. So, leaving, releasing, surrendering, saying goodbye and good luck on your journey, closure and letting go of the chains and the old shackles, the roles, the stories, the outgrown identities, the attachments, old beliefs, and distorted, inverted ways of seeing, cooperating, and relating, playing in this game, and co-creating or unconsciously, propping up dysfunctional relationships and cycles of pain, disease, and suffering. It's not up to me to make things easy, pleasant, good, better, or comforting for you or for me. So take your own accountability for your own life and please claim your power and the preciousness and the pricelessness of your own life and own your own responsibilities. Look into the areas and aspects of your own life where you've rejected, abandoned, betrayed, been against yourself, and denied your own love and your own choice, your own power to be who you need for yourself. Look into the places and the spaces where you can show up for you. Look into the places where you can offer, receive, and give that love, compassion, and care for you. Be accountable for all that's you. Look into you. Be willing to see where your own choices, words, thoughts, actions, and beliefs have caused or contributed to suffering or unease, or growth, joy, and triumph. The suffering and the root of our unease, the roots of unwholesome action, unskillful action, pain, shame, blame, and disease. Answer the call of your soul, or keep turning a deaf ear to your soul and continue to suffer and choose pain and victim stories and roles. I cannot do this for you. I cannot carry this for you. I cannot walk your path for you. I cannot fill certain roles for you. I cannot save you or show up to care for you. I cannot and will not continue this dysfunctional, outgrown relationship that will only create more sorrow, grief, and stagnation, dishonoring me, you, and we. I cannot and I will not go against myself and what I know to be true. I will not play games or play in this push and pull power struggle with you. So thank you. Thanks for the lessons and the growth, the experience, the challenge, the opportunities, the gifts and the blessings, the new understandings and the expansion and healings. I'm letting go with love. I wish you the same. Divine grace, peace, and strength to continue your journey with all love, abundance, blessings, faith, grace, mercy, and all good things that you need for your being. Continue your journey of love back to we. May you receive all the love that you need and look no further than your own currency, your own value, worth, and your own full being. You are the love that you seek for your being. It's always been you and up to you to receive. Thank you, I love you. I bless and forgive you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. Thank you, thank you. I love you, I bless you, I forgive you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, thank you. Love is free, you are free, I am free, we are love, we are loved. Love is free, we are free. Let it go, let it be love and be free. Be you, be true, be full and complete. So, what are you being offered? What do you get to choose? What is happening for you? What do you get to reclaim, unname, or reframe? Where do you get to show up for you? What are you in the most resistance to? Where are you hiding from you? Where are you abandoning you? Where are you denying your own love for you? Where are you rejecting your life that was given to you? Where are you one against you? Or not at peace within you? Where are you at war with you? And where are you withholding love from you? Where are you disallowing and not honoring you? Where are you judging and condemning or damning you? Where are you avoiding, denying, blocking, sabotaging you? Where are you dismissing, devaluing, depleting, and dishonoring you? Where can you start to begin to love you? Show up and offer this full love to you. How do you get to show up? What do you get to choose? More truly, more truthfully, more truthfully for you. Who is responsible for showing up to care for you? For loving you? Who is responsible for caring for you? Who is responsible for honoring you? Recognizing, acknowledging, and noticing you. Realizing, inviting, and including you. Honoring, allowing, and being true to you. Showing up, caring, and attending to you. Being love for you. So be willing to face your fears, your demons, and your ghosts, and lay those psychic dead orphans to rest. Choose what you need and choose your own well-being. Decide what you will bring and what you will carry. It's all up to you. You can dig your grave or you can get married. The same force that liberates is the same force that binds. We are always creating, and it's all in the mind. Are you building a temple, a prison, or a home? Are you digging a grave? It's really all up to you. Are you willing to see? It's always been you. You're the one that you need. What will you choose? Are you willing to let go and show up for you? Will you allow all of you? Will you forgive you? Will you choose to love, care for, and show up for you? Will you choose to be honoring of all of you? Will you choose to be all the love you are for all of you? Will you choose to be true? Will you choose to surrender? Will you choose to let go? Will you choose to continue to deny yourself and suffer? Or will you choose something new and more true and more full, more truly in alignment with your full true you? It's not up to me to make this better for you. I don't owe you anything, but I offer this to you. So take it or leave it. It is the whole truth. How you receive it, it's all up to you. I'm offering this to you. I never stopped loving or caring for you, although I needed to choose to step back and separate myself from you. I needed to change the dysfunctional ways that I had been choosing to show up for me and for you. So I needed to end that relationship, let it die and be laid to rest, and let it all go, and step into something more full, whole, and true. Yes, there have been changes in how I'm choosing to show up for you, and how I am now expressing my care for me and you. And that really isn't about you. It's all about all of us and our healing too, and the ways we're being challenged to show up for ourselves, more fully, truthfully, for our whole selves, our full selves, our full wells, our whole selves. And sometimes we need to go through hell to find our well. And that's what we get to do, you know? And there always is love and support and care available. And we find that, like, here and through cultivating and nurturing the relationships that we're in. Yeah. And honoring all that's been given. And so with that spirit of giving and generosity and hospitality, I thank all the gifts that have been given, all the gifts that have been shared. I appreciate them. I acknowledge them. I notice them and I praise them. I bless them. And I really do thank you so much for playing your part in all of this and through all of them, through all these things, and through our relationship, and through our discovery, through our awakening. It's a continual journey of love. And so, happy birthday today, my friend. I do care for you. And I do appreciate you. And I acknowledge you. And I see you. I don't blame you. And I'm not shaming you. And I'm not judging you. I'm doing my best to be true to me. To be true to we. To be honoring of all of my feelings and what I need for me. So I can't show up in the ways that you need or want or expect me to. But I can offer this, and I can offer you well wishes, and I can encourage you to be the love that you need for you, and do it in your own way, choose it in your own ways, receive it in your own ways, experience it in your own ways, love your own ways, live your own ways, choose your own ways, free your own ways, trust your style, trust your journey, trust your life, trust yourself. Yeah, and be willing to own who you are, all you are, for yourself, for all the love that you are, for all the love that you need, for all the love that you're a part of, for all that you love, for all that's dear to you. Show up. Love needs you too. Okay? All right. It's not always comfortable. It's not always easy. It's not always easy or pleasing. But it is exactly what we need so we can know ourselves and we can show up and be true to ourselves, the love that we need. We can be this and free this for we. Just be willing. Just be willing. Just be willing. And take it one step at a time and surrender to be here now. Present with all the gifts that life has, that life is, that life's a part of. Like, all these gifts through life, through our whole entire lives. So live your life and love your life, trust your life, honor your life, for giving, for being, receiving, experiencing, sharing, creating, dreaming, loving, living, being, all we are. All we are. All right. Take good care of yourself. Love yourself. Be yourself. Know yourself. Free yourself. Bye for now. Farewell. Be well. Love yourself.